Hello.
Hello, how are you, Jess?
I'm really good. How are you? It's nice to see you again.
Yeah, it's been a hot minute since I had them. Um, oh, sorry, that is,
Are we having a tech
that,
issue?
that was not a text issue. That I've got YouTube up because I'm going to look at the comments on
Yep.
YouTube and I didn't mute it, so I did get a little fright there. So I was literally just about to say how well everything had gone with me setting that all up, considering I hadn't done it in a while. So that's really quite infuriating.
We nearly wouldn't have known.
I think people would have known. But yeah, really pleased to be back. Really pleased to be and looking forward to this great box that we've got tonight. As we were saying backstage, this is a bit of a cracker that we've got tonight.
Yeah, and I say that every month, but I really do mean it.
This time I mean it.
So yeah, hopefully you've all had a chance to have a root through the box. The box looked very fancy this month as well.
I was literally just saying, and our guests were saying backstage, I think it may be the best iteration yet of the Pour and Sip box.
Yeah.
Guys, our regular members, let us know what you think of this month's
this week's
Pour and Sip box. I've got to say, I think the standing up when you opened it was really quite nice.
Very smart.
Smart, right? Very smart. Lots of people already commenting. Evening, everyone. Nick Tarrant, save me, Big Pete. Man, cold, in full swing, says Barry. If I'm honest with you, Barry, I have to say, I think that is probably the perfect remedy for a cold, Big Pete. If I could choose any of the drams tonight, that would be.
If you can't taste it, then maybe do hold off, but it might be the cure.
You know what? When I had COVID back in 2021 for the first time, I lost my sense of taste and smell. But I lost it way before that was even a known symptom. I didn't even know I had COVID, so I just assumed that I had lost my sense of taste and smell. I was very much panicking. Like it was just like I was very like kind of in a major set of panic that had just gone from me. But the first thing that I smelled again after 2.5 weeks was Laphroaig 10.
That's a good story. I can't believe you've not heard that before.
I know. So it was like that was the thing, and because I kept going to the Laphroaig 10 and trying to smell it, going still nothing. That's it. It's gone forever. But the first time I woke up in the morning as usual.
In the morning,
just for smell, and then I was so excited to add a sip. I have had Laphroaig for breakfast before, I have to say, in Islay on my porridge. If anyone stays in Islay,
also.
But anyway, evening sippers. Had to remind myself what Maori was. For those who do not know, it's a fortified vin de naturel wines made in the Roussillon wine region of France.
Oh, covered that one then. Thanks, David.
Thank you. Our little Wikipedia there. Steve Coleman Williams, the second month for this new one. We all said it was the best yet last month. There you go. Every month is getting better, is what that means. Wait a sec. Simon only opened last month's box last week, but do like this new format. Ali saying definitely the best packaging so far.
Malcolm Tucker's drank the Kilchoman at the distillery last month, so that's quite serendipitous. It's in this month's box, but kind of annoying for you. Sorry.
That's going to be the same for you. It's just listening to me and Jess ramble on whilst you drink it. Is that the same? Simon Laphroaig for breakfast. New breakfast pairing. No, I was smelling it to recover my sense of smell.
And then you had it on your porridge, I believe.
But also the place we were staying at in Islay, I can't remember the house. It may be called Islay Guest House. I would really recommend. I wish I had the name of it. You should stay there. Amazing place. It's about 3 seconds away from the airport. That was my favorite thing. We kind of landed. Cab driver came and picked us up, and about 10 seconds later, he was like, "Right, we're here." I was like, "Brilliant." But they specially serve Laphroaig on porridge for their breakfast, so highly recommended. Breakfast of champions, says Baz Richardson. Anyway, if you are new here, please get involved tonight. Please let us know your comments, your tasting notes, whatever you want. No questions too stupid. All our guests will be ready to answer any of your queries and woes. Isn't that right, Jess?
Yes, and excellent segue into who we've got tonight. So on the running order tonight, we will first be tasting, pardon me, the Aberargie with Thomas. Then we're moving on to the Bivrost. I'm not even going to pronounce it. We'll leave that to Inya, our guest, for Bivrost. And
there's too many consonants in a row for me.
That's two Jesus scaring me. And then, last but not least, unreleased Big Peat for Fèis Ìle with Fiona. And then Andy and I will do a quick chat about the Bunnahabhain and the Kilchoman. So
That
New whiskies, East whiskies, bit of an Islay theme, obviously, because it's May, so that means Fèis Ìle. If you don't know what that is, we'll get into that with our guests. Yeah, should we crack on?
Yeah, I think it's probably about time. So I'm going to invite our first guest up, who is Thomas. Hold on. Hello.
Good evening.
Good evening. How are you?
Great. Very well, thank you. Yourselves? Some intro.
So, yeah, I'm very well, thank you. I'm really looking forward to cracking into some drams tonight. But for anyone who doesn't know, as you've not been on Pour and Sip before, should you talk to us a little bit about your kind of into the kind of whiskey industry, how you got involved and where you currently are?
Yeah, kind of stumbled into it, I guess. Studied university in Edinburgh, nothing to do with brewing and distilling, and then I got a job in a whiskey bar in the Balmoral Hotel, if anyone's familiar with that. So a wall of whiskey, and learn about it on the job, I guess. And then I joined Morrison Distillers 2.5 years ago, and I'm the UK sales manager for everything that we do. So Aberargie, Mactala, Old Perth, Carnmore, Brewdar, the full lot.
That sounds good. I was saying to you backstage, it's kind of exciting because for anyone who has been a regular Pour and Sip, we've had Mactala on a couple of times. We've had Old Perth. I think we may have had a couple of Carnmore releases, but we've always been talking about the potential, the idea of Aberargie, or just what it will taste like. But tonight, for anyone who's been there since the start, we're going to get to try the inaugural release.
Yeah, it's one of those things that I guess when I joined the business, we have a distillery. It's Aberargie, and it's coming in the future. And I guess that was the kind of the party line, and it was like we will have our own whiskey in the future. And at the moment we have Mactala, Old Perth, Carnmore, and then it was last October was the first time that we really spoke about it in depth in terms of we had whiskey in a bottle, and we showcased it at London Whiskey Show. The 2 new make spirit styles, and then a bourbon and a sherry expression, and that was really, apart from I guess my customers, that was the first time we'd really spoken about Aberargie in depth in terms of this is what it's going to look like, this is what it's going to taste like, this is what to expect, sort of thing. So it's been since October since we really ramped up our communication and obviously excitement about our own distillery. And then we launched on the 3rd of March 2026. So we began distilling on the 1st of November 2017. So it was a build up, but you know, whiskey takes patience, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Whiskey does take patience. And when you're saying you kind of broke ground with this in 2016, filled the first cask in 2017, but originally, what was the kind of whiskey you wanted to make with this?
Well, we're a farm distillery, so we sit just south of Perth in Scotland. You've no idea how many times I've heard Perth, Australia. So I always say Perth, Scotland.
It would be a different kind of whiskey.
Yeah. So we are 7 miles south of Perth. We sit on a 300-acre farm. The goal and the plan was always to grow barley and to distill it. And that's what we've done. So we focus on growing our own barley. We want to keep as much as possible our process kind of within our control. Under one roof in our own time is the kind of overarching message of what we do. And I guess in our own time covers the patience element, and in our own way covers the spirit that we create.
Yeah, that's cool. And the spirit you create is kind of, you said you sit a few miles south of like the Highland line, so technically lowland, but the style is kind of neither. How would you kind of describe the house style of what you're creating?
Yeah, I mean, whiskey regions are tough. I mean, you guys are going to go into Islay, I guess, and that I'd say that one's the only one with a really stock style. But even then, you're gonna get exceptions to that rule everywhere. We sit technically in the lowlands. We're proud to be in Perthshire, and we never had plans to produce a light and super kind of just light spirit. We were always wanting to produce something with a little bit more body, and that really lends into the barley variety that we use. So we grow on our farm Golden Promise variety of barley. So super popular in the 60s and 70s with Macallan and Bowmore, and again with that family connection. So the Morrison family used to own Bowmore Distillery on Islay. And the impact that it has on spirit in general, I would say, is quite remarkable. Texture and structure are two things that I'll talk about all the time with Aberargie. It's the texture that it provides, it's the structure, it's that kind of oiliness, that kind of body to it, to use more of a wine term. So we always wanted to produce a spirit with Golden Promise, and then we also grow Laureate barley. So we focus on two different barley varieties. We operate the distillery the exact same for both barley, so the only difference is the barley variety. So we produce two new make spirits, and we mature them separately as well.
Okay, cool. And you've got these kind of single pair of stills with these kind of descending line arms, and the 72-hour fermentation period. What is this setup doing to the whiskey?
Yeah, so I guess we're a modern distillery creating, I would say, kind of an old school whiskey. So we're purpose built, where our distillery runs from mashing and milling at the back, and then through our fermentation, and then to our wash and spirit still. And it's still very much a human process. So we have a computer that reads times and temperatures, but all of our cut points are manual. All of our mashing in is manual. It's valves. It's a Stillman running around, but just set up to make sense, if that makes sense. It's like it's not a case of the Stillman mashing in over here and then running across. It's built to produce the whiskey that we want. Custom built for size stills. With that kind of, I guess, quite traditional shape. Slightly designing line arm, and it's made to make the whiskey that we want to create, I guess.
That's cool. And this is the inaugural release. So just talk us through this. So I think I was reading 52% Golden Promise and then 48% the other barley variety, and it's matured 50-50 in first fill bourbon and first fill sherry. So why did you choose this split for your first debut?
So again, we produced the two new make spirits, so they're matured independently as well. So if you think about it, we've actually got Laureate barley and first fill bourbon, Laureate barley and first fill sherry, Golden Promise and first fill bourbon, Golden Promise and first fill sherry, all in one dram. And we wanted to have this to be slightly more on the Golden Promise side. It's not a lot, 52 versus 48, and then I would say a generous amount of sherry for our release. Again, with our wood program, we work directly with coopers in the States, and we work directly with our producers in the States and in Spain as well. So we get everything directly. We ship them whole. We request that they're unrinsed and unsteamed, so they're fresh casks. And I think you can really,
you can taste. You can smell.
You can really appreciate that caretaking. With the inaugural dram itself, we wanted to showcase everything that we do at Aberargie. So it's the four elements. It's Laureate barley, it's Golden Promise barley, it's first fill bourbon, and first fill sherry. And our inaugural release represents all of these. And particularly, I appreciate it's tough to read on the back, but we have our ratios listed on the back here. So it is, transparent in the sense of...
what's that little bit on the bottle? Is it like a...
So... Our Aberargie branding. So this is our inaugural release box, and this is our bottle. You can expect these to remain the same. So we have what we call our horizon line on the box. So this is our still house in the farm, and what you will see as you look out over the farm. Similarly, on the label, this is our still house representation. All of this, apart from the whiskey in the bottle and the inaugural on the label, will remain the same as we move through Aberargie. This is a little, I guess, something different that we wanted to add for our inaugural release. So we distill, of course, on site. We mature all of our whiskey on site, and we bottle everything on site. So we have a bottling line on the premises. I'm sure you might have spoken about it with Mactala and Old Perth and that sort of stuff. So you put the bottles on, it fills them up, and then someone takes them off for the other side. You find me a machine that can put these on. So every single one passed through the hands of someone at the distillery, including myself. I spent a full day bottling Aberargie. A neck tag, I've seen it as a drip catcher. Mine's has been on my keys as a little keyring for the last 2 or 3 months.
I like
just a little keepsake.
Do you know what? I don't know if this is what you intended, and maybe you take. I don't know if you're not going to like this comment. I don't know. What I really like about you were talking about it, like kind of as well with the distillery setup. It was kind of old school. I really feel there's this kind of like old school romanticism in that box in the packaging.
I would say so, and it's
not. For me, it looks like a really kind of classic whiskey pack. I think people kind of get lost in the kind of really super duper modern kind of stuff.
Yeah,
packaging. Like it just looks really, really kind of, I don't know, authentically Scottish whiskey to me.
I would say so, and I'd say it tastes like that. So I think you want something that carries through from what you see to what you taste, right? And like these little neck tags are leather, and genuinely everyone in the distillery was involved in putting them on. We were all there when the first bottles went down the line. We're a pretty small team. We're 16 people, from managing director Neil to everyone else in the business. So it's cool to be a part of it and to be close to it. Like I was at the distillery today, and yeah, it's amazing to finally have it in glass and have it in glasses and share it.
I'm just slightly concerned that your marketing team, with the PR, whoever did the packaging and stuff, like, let's go for this super modern kind of look, and I've just said it looks really cool and old school. I don't know, but
no, I mean it's the whiskey that we make.
Exactly. That's what I was kind of getting at, and that's what it felt like. Jess, do you want to read some of these tasting notes? I've just tried this. I have to say, whilst you've been talking, Thomas, I am really enjoying this. The note you say is like super creamy and oily, which I really, really am appreciating. I think this is like a really good. What's it bottled at, by the way? What percentage?
48.2% alcohol.
Okay, cool. It's really, really nice. Jess, what do you think?
Yeah, I really like it. I was like, I haven't had a sip yet. I don't know what I'm playing at. So yeah, I had a couple. It's really lovely. And also everyone's agreeing with what you just said, Andy, about it being like fairly creamy as well. We've got where are we? Peter Gilmore, strong with apples and oak on the nose. Clive Hampton, apples and cherry. Steve Colin Williams, very woody with orchard fruits. Yauki saying, sorry if that's not how you pronounce your username, some apple, banana, and cinnamon. Ali C, I'm getting baked apple and rice pudding. Apple everywhere. Malcolm Tucker, apple sauce, honey, caramel, oak, and a touch of orange. David Wilcock, a Scottish apple strudel. Where have we got Ali C again? Apple turnover with cream. Everyone's saying how like oily and lovely it is. Got Peter Cray saying beautiful with a drop of water, super buttery. I guess you don't want to put too much water in it at 48%, but do you reckon that does help open some things up?
I would always experiment with water. I've always seen it as like adding salt and pepper to your food. You try it first and then you decide where you go with it. But in a situation like this where you've got a dram to essentially play with, I would always say add more. And if you've added half of the dram to your glass, you can really experiment with water, because you can always add more whiskey, right?
Not the size though, to be honest with you.
Yeah, no, not neither me. But
if you mess it up, I was gonna say something else there with the water ratio, and you drown this, then you really have done it. That's it.
Yeah.
But like,
you can always add more whiskey, but you can always add more water, but you can't take it out. Exactly.
That's exactly it. And at this size, you cannot add more whiskey. That's not bad about the dram size. It's just the way it is.
Go get a bottle from the member store.
I was literally just about to, you ruined my segue. I literally had it all lined up.
We're a great team, Andy.
It was lined up. I was ready to go. But that's because we've been doing this for so long, Jess. We just you knew exactly where I was going with that.
Finish each other's whiskies.
You can get this from the Pour and Sip Stop. The Pour and Sip Stop.
That's not a bad name.
Yeah, exactly. A few more notes coming in. Clive Hampson saying a few drops of water brings out the butter and spice. Malcolm Tucker, the palate is toffee, baking spices, butter, white pepper, finished sticky orange marmalade on brioche bun. Nice. David Tull, fantastic on the nose with a baked apple and caramel flavour that lingers. I really get the kind of apple patisserie kind of note for me as well, like apple French pan kind of thing. Malcolm Tucker saying, luckily I have a full bottle to pour another dram and try with water. Malcolm, did you buy that for the Pour and Sip store? Or was this one you previously had bought?
Betrayal.
What has the general feedback been on this, by the way? Because obviously it's your inaugural release. So what has the general feedback been?
On the liquid, really overwhelmingly positive. I think as an inaugural release where you showcase essentially everything we do, we wanted to bring something that was and is a finished product, right? We wanted to show something that this is what we're all about, and this does that in a glass for me. Like the texture and structure, that mouthfeel from the Golden Promise, that little bit of herbaceousness, that little element of greenery to it as well. I think.
I should have mentioned this. How is it the full age? It's like 8-9 years old.
So we began distilling on the 1st of November 2017. So that's 2017 is a month's worth of stock, basically.
Yeah.
But what's in here, we released it as a non-age statement, and what's in here is basically our oldest liquid. And I think you can tell it on the palate. I think you can tell it throughout as well. It's essentially what we've been doing for the last 8 or 9 years. So we released as a non-age statement, and I think, of course, as Aberargie develops and goes through, you'll see Aberargie with an age statement for sure. I think it's more likely to be when it gets to 10 or 12 or that sort of age. And yeah, this is a representation of everything that we do. Older whiskey is not always better. It's
no, for sure.
Always more expensive. But we really wanted to just showcase everything that we do in one bottle, in one glass, and the feedback's been amazing. I mean, on launch day, we went out as a team and went for a few drams and a couple of pints, of course, after being at the distillery, and my phone was red hot from customers saying, we would like some more, which is always a good thing.
Yeah, sure. I mean, I've got to say, empty glass, it's really good. I have to say, really, really good. There was a question in here.
Yes.
For you. Did you see it, Jess?
From Barry. We got someone asking, what do you think will be the price of the core range and the percentage, like the ABV?
Have to wait and see, won't we?
Yeah.
No, I think what we've done with our inaugural release in terms of pricing is been really, really highly praised as well. So we released Aberargie Inaugural Single Malt at £65 RRP. And I think in terms of drinking experience, in terms of look and branding, and in terms of story, so going back a little bit to Golden Promise, the reason why it fell out of favour is because it yields about half of what we get with our other barley. So it's expensive to make, it's low yielding in the field, it's susceptible to disease and that sort of thing, but we think it's worth it to make our Aberargie single malt. So again, with that element of first fill wood and Golden Promise, I think £65 for the drinking experience and for an inaugural release is extremely fair. So I would say keep an eye out for more fair pricing for the drinking experience, and we'll get to core range. We've only just had our inaugural release.
Enjoy this one for a minute.
Yeah.
Let them breathe, man. Let them breathe.
No, we'll get. I'm excited as anyone to get to a core range product and to really have something that people can come back to, because the inaugural was a huge success from our perspective. But let's see what's to come over the next 6 months or so.
Sounds good to me. I have to say this one is a great start to the night. I really, really enjoyed this. I may even be getting myself a bottle of this one. Malcolm Tucker saying he bought it on the day of the release from the website, not the distillery. And Ali C is saying excellent stuff. Looking forward to future releases. So thank you very much, Thomas, for chatting to us about that.
Thanks
really enjoyed that one, and hopefully see you at the end.
Absolutely. Cheers.
Cheers. Bye. You all right?
Yeah, I'm just really enjoying that.
Yeah, it was really good. I have to say, I actually thought that was a great start, and I always say I like the whiskies, but I have to say I really liked that one.
And it's just really cool to have, just something like brand, like the first tasting of this distillery. Like,
absolutely cool stuff to begin with. It seems like all you guys liked it. Ali C, you're number 2 in our XP of tonight.
Still nobody knows what that means.
They do. They absolutely do. Oh no, this makes no sense. Ali C is actually number 1, 2, and 3 all in one. So I really don't know. I really feel like we should just sort this out because it is such a great idea. I love the idea of having a leaderboard, but I just don't think it's working out. But anyway,
thanks for coming to Andy's TED Talk.
Thanks for coming to my TED Talk. But
okay.
Norwegian
whiskey.
Over to Norwegian whiskey and chat.
I'm very excited.
Rune, I'm just going to bring him onto screen. Hello.
Good evening. Good evening.
Good evening.
How do you say good evening in Norwegian?
God kväll.
God kväll. Okay.
Yeah. Or if you want to be really formal, then it's god aften.
Good afternoon.
Ooh,
yeah, that's really formal. That's almost nobody says that anymore. So,
but we're still at formal base, so I feel like the good afternoon is better for this current period of time.
Well,
yeah. So pleased to have you. So where are you coming? Obviously, you're in Norway. I would assume you're in Norway, but yeah, whereabouts are you coming to us from tonight?
Yeah, I'm in Norway. I'm actually not in the same region as the distillery is right now. I'm currently sitting in my home about a 40 minutes drive outside of Oslo. So if you know where Oslo is, then it's just 40 minutes north. However, the distillery is way up north. It's on 69 degrees north. So I'm far from the home office, so to speak.
Yes. And so, well, before we get into the distillery and the whiskey, it'd be great just to have a little intro about yourself and, you know, your role and, yeah, what's going on.
Yeah, so I am, I'm a so-called brand ambassador, so which is for Norwegian ears, that's a pretty fancy title. But it's this is actually my side gig, my side job. I'm in everyday life, I'm a teacher, so this is kind of giving me 2020 flashbacks. But quick summary of how I got into the whiskey business, of course, besides really enjoying and loving whiskey, is that I'm a fan that somehow got to work for a distillery, for a distillery from the same part of Norway where I was born and raised. So I'm from up north, I moved down south, and about 4 years ago, I would have been on the other end of this stream, so to speak, with the viewers and fans and whiskey buyers. And then just going to the largest whiskey festival in Norway, in Oslo, a couple of years running, I met, became aware of Aurora Spirit Distillery and kind of got stuck at their stand in 2022. So the story I usually tell is my boss, Ingjerd, who was supposed to do this stream, but didn't quite make it.
Yes.
The story I usually tell is that I think she got tired of me hanging out at the stand and just nerding out, so she put me to work. That's basically the story. I'm a fan who's fortunate enough to have a part-time job talking about whiskey, meeting people who enjoy whiskey, and also going up north to the distillery and doing warehouse checks and cask samples and all the fun stuff.
Yeah,
I mean, that's really fun. Worthington story, Jess.
Sorry, what was that?
So I usually do festivals and stuff like that around Norway, and that's usually my role.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
We're on some kind of three-way kind of interruption thing here, which is amazing for the viewing experience.
Yeah, sorry, everyone.
I'm leaving it with you.
No, that's fine. Yeah, that's also very fun that you get to be a bit more hands-on as well as a brand ambassador.
Definitely, and that's one of the things I really appreciate about the distillery and the people that started it and are running it is the sense of community that they're building around this entire venture. So you really feel part of the family.
Yeah. Well, yeah. So the whiskey we have is actually. Can you help me pronounce this whiskey?
Of course. From what I know, you have the Yggdrasil.
Yggdrasil. I'm sorry.
And the Yggdrasil is, just to give a quick backstory, Yggdrasil is the world tree in Old Norse mythology. So it is the tree that all the worlds and all the beings live on. So it is really the center of the universe that everything else grows from. So I'm not gonna. Yeah, I'm gonna try and not wax too lyrical about this, but it is this whiskey is the first of a planned core range of 3 expressions that, and we couldn't start with anything else than Yggdrasil, the world tree, and let everything else grow from that. It is not our first expression, not the first release. We've done some limited editions and different stuff as well, but it is the first core range, and this is the 2025 edition. We had a batch in 2024, and let's see, right now, coming soon, we also have the 2026 edition. It's not out yet, but it's almost done.
That's very exciting. I'm going to get into the whiskey itself in a moment, but yeah, so the whiskey is part of the Bivrost range, but the distillery is the Aurora Spirit Distillery, so the name isn't exactly the same. So can you just tell me a bit about the distillery itself?
Yeah, sure. First of all, just to give a reason to why the distillery name and the brand name is not the same. It's basically Norwegian alcohol legislation, which is really strict, and we are not allowed to promote anything that's an alcohol brand related. So usually, if I was speaking to a Norwegian audience right now, I would be breaking the law wearing this T-shirt with the Bivrost logo and showing the bottle on stream. So we have to do it like that. We have to have one name for the business, for the distillery, and then have a brand name that we can use both nationally and internationally. And
so you'd be wearing an Aurora T-shirt instead?
Excuse me?
Would it be like, could you wear an Aurora T-shirt instead of a Bivrost one?
Yes. I was actually, by habit, almost grabbing the Aurora Spirit Distillery T-shirt to throw on, but I thought, no, for once I'm allowed to wear this, so I'm going to do it. Yeah.
Okay, that's very interesting.
Do you feel like a rebel?
Yeah, it is kind of yeah, touch of breaking the law kind of feeling, but it's but if I can tell you a little bit more about the distillery itself, though, that's probably more interesting than hearing me ramble on about T-shirts. Anyway, it is the world's northernmost whiskey distillery. We're located at 69 degrees north, and that comes with a few challenges and a few unique opportunities. I'm going to get into that when we talk about the whiskey itself, actually. But of course, we're well within the Arctic Circle. If anybody's a geography buff, it's about 2 hours drive outside of Tromsø, largest city up north. So 69 degrees north, we have the midnight sun from about mid-May to early August. And then, of course, we have the long winters with the Arctic, the polar nights from November until February, March, something like that. So it's long winter, dark, cold, but warm people and warm spirits. Yeah.
That is, yeah. I mean, it's a world of extremes. I mean, so is it are there challenges to running a distillery in that kind of environment?
There definitely are. Yeah. Of course, you have the long. Excuse me.
Sorry, I was going to say challenges, but also perks.
Yeah, definitely there is. I mean, one of the challenges is basically location. You have to transport almost everything a pretty long way. I mean, just getting bottles and bottle caps can take weeks, and it's a pretty expensive operation as well. And then you have just the infrastructure is not as developed as it is in the UK, in Scotland, or even the southern part of Norway. So we've had a few. I mean, there are pictures online. We've had a few instances of trucks, lorries getting stuck on the road down to the distillery because of snow and ice and stuff like that. So yeah, it can be a challenge. However, it is. There are also benefits. One of them, maybe ironically, is the climate itself. We do have long winters. It is pretty cold, and our storage, our Viking Longhouse, as it's called, has. It's not heavily insulated, and we have a grass roof, as they did in the olden days. And so it is, and we have no heating or artificial temperature control in it. So we have a pretty low average temperature of 0.6 degrees centigrade throughout the year. But the temperature variations that we see are kind of long waves of slow moving fluctuations. And that gives us a really steady, stable maturation. So it takes a bit longer, but for now, what we're getting, the type of feedback we're getting is that this is, it does impact our whiskey and gives us a sort of unique character to it.
Well, I mean, the nose on this is like nothing I've ever smelt before. So I think that's definitely fair to say.
Yeah, well, I'm glad you say that, actually, because creating Yggdrasil, we try to go for a very specific feeling. A very ingrained part of Norwegian culture, Norwegian life, is the connection with nature and being outdoors, basically. I mean, you have outdoors activities all around the globe. Up there, it's we have to either be very happy about being in snow or enjoying, really make the most of it during the long summer nights. So we, what a lot of people like to do in spring, summer, and in the autumn is go out into the woods, into the mountains, camp out, just enjoy the outdoors. And of course, an integral part of that for many people is like sitting in the woods, in the heather, and around a campfire and just enjoying life. And that's kind of what we try to put into this whiskey.
Okay.
So it is a whiskey that's it's based on Oloroso sherry casks, and that have there is some heather in it. And you have different heathers all around, different types of heather all around the world. This, to my nose, to my northern Norwegian nose, really smell like the type of heather that grows just around the distillery. And it is, this is basically a whiff of home to me. And you have that slight peated note on the finish and on the nose as well. To kind of like give the bonfire aroma as well. And the intention blending this was to give kind of like a warming feeling, a whiskey that could warm you up during cold winter nights, or that could remind you of that campfire feeling.
I
Andy,
love
what's the one?
whiskies. I love whiskies that give people sense of time and place. And all my favorite whiskies that I've tried and that I remember are all the ones that make me think back to a moment, not just a tasting note. Do you know what I mean? So like everything you
Yeah.
just said there, like really resonates with me. But obviously, I can't personally go back to that being my childhood or where I grew up. It would have been, I don't know, me and my mate sitting some park in God knows where, and just like
Among the heather.
it wasn't the same kind of thing, but I'm getting a vision of what that may have felt like, and it's really quite romantic. So I love it when whiskies are like that.
Yeah. Well, I can see that outdoorsy note. Like the first thing I thought when I on the nose was like it's so green and like herbaceous. So I feel like that outdoorsy like nature tie that you wanted the whiskey to have is like very much there, because that was the first thing I thought. And it's nice as well that it's, you know, it's like a transportive whiskey, you know, when you know that that's the intention behind it, you're like, well, this is like a little slice of experiencing that, even though obviously I've never been there and can't go at this present time.
Well, hopefully one day, though. It's.
Yes.
I mean, we're planning on staying open for quite a while. So, but it is. Yeah, we're trying to do that. To all our whiskeys to either transport the drinker, the audience to a place or a time, or give a feeling, or at least to tell a story with it. We did the first whiskeys we did to kind of like the first releases. We did a limited edition series of the 9 worlds of Norse mythology, where we tried to give each whiskey an identity that matched the mythology descriptions of each of the worlds. So Yggdrasil is the life tree that all those worlds are connected to. And it's from this first core expression that's everything else is going to grow. And hopefully, just to give you somewhat of an exclusive, hopefully the second core range expression will release this autumn. And I don't know who's watching and what you maybe tried from our distillery before, but it could be an interesting one if you've ever tried our Vanaheim from the 9 worlds of Norse mythology. It's a pretty unusual whiskey, and I think I'm going to leave it at that.
That's very, very elusive, but I love the exclusive.
I read out a few of these comments that are coming.
Yes, definitely.
So there's a lot of people talking about Norway just in general. So I'm not, whatever. I'm going to Tromsø at Christmas. This whiskey should get me prepped. Seacon Williams, only part of Norway I've ever been to was Longyearbyen. I think you guys are trying to wind me up here with these. Like is that a nice place? You're smiling there, Rune.
Yeah, I haven't been there myself actually, but actually our distillery's hospitality manager is there right now because her family lives there. And that is kind of like the capital, the main city on Svalbard, which is the island that belongs to Norway, way up in the. I mean, you're almost at the North Pole. But Longyearbyen is it basically means the long year city or the long year town. So they have even longer winters than we do.
Wow. Okay. Guys, you could really write anything right now, and I'd probably say it if you've been there. So just put it
Come on, go for it.
I could literally say anything, and I would read it out right now. But just to say something to look forward to later, we'll go through all the notes. I did a.
It's Hurtigruten. I do know that that's real.
Hurtigruten up to Kirkenes from Oslo. Highly recommended. I spent time flying the EH-101 simulator in Solo. It's a beautiful country. And Clive Hampton has also done the Hurtigruten sailing to Kirkenes in November. Several Norwegian whiskies on board, which I sampled as it was pitch black at 3 p.m. and not a lot to see except for inside the bar. Can you just repeat one more time, Rune, how to say the whiskey? Because I really want to perfect that. It sounds great.
Yeah, it's Yggdrasil.
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 Yggdrasil. Okay, so the
Yes.
nose on the Yggdrasil, pine needles, smoke-infused leather wingback chair, buttered toast. Ali C was in Tromsø in January, was -20. Oh my God, Jesus. And managed to pick up a bottle of the limited edition, the Heimdallr, Heimadllr.
I still recognize this then.
Okay.
That is
that's awesome.
Yeah. So
Technology is just such a great thing just to have for your marketing and packaging team. Just Norse mythology in its entirety is just
definitely
gold mine, basically.
Yeah, and our head of marketing, Ingjerd, is also doing fantastic work with it. But it is kind of like it is not. We don't use it as a game.
You're back.
Still going? Yeah. It was. I don't know what that was, but it is. I mean, we try not to use it as a gimmick, actually, because it is our identity and it is our cultural history. Of course, we use it for marketing, but we try to tell parts of the mythology and about the characters and the worlds and the worldview in the mythology through our whiskies. And just to kind of like with the Yggdrasil itself, the release is, I'm not sure if the packaging comes through, but you see this logo on here. That is actually a bind rune. The runes, in addition to being my name, Rune, the runes is the old written language, the Old Norse written language. So it's the alphabet. And this is a bind rune, which is a combination of different runes spelling out Yggdrasil. This is designed by one of our other brand ambassadors, who is as close to a modern day Viking as you can get. And he really knows, if he's stuck on something, he calls the university to get it verified. So we do try to be authentic in everything we do with this as well.
Yeah.
And just
cool. Yeah, it looks
on
the packaging. It's just so detailed. So he also saw an amazing Aurora and Wales, but the whiskey was an unexpected bonus. Baz Richardson saying that XP stands for experience points. Man, I know it stands for experience points. I play Pokemon, but prefer the letters the other way around, to be honest. PX, cask finish, obviously. Yes, PX is definitely better than XP, 100%. Jeffster is brilliant, isn't it? Jeffster saying he gets orange peel on the nose. Unforgettable, I should do it again, is the experiences of the Aurora. Jeffster, tell me about alcohol in Norway. Went to a supermarket for a bottle of wine. No one told me that you can't just buy alcohol in the mainstream shops.
No, well, you can buy alcohol, but basically the rules are you can buy beer, cider, and hard seltzers and stuff like that in the regular shops, but only until 8 in the evening. So usually open about 10 or something, and then until 8 in the evening. So the last 3 hours of their opening time, they can't sell any alcohol. Above 4.7%, you have to go to the state-run monopoly store. Vinmonopolet, it's called. That is a state-run monopoly. And that is the only place that that's allowed to sell over-the-counter alcohol, wines, stronger beers, and, of course, whiskey and spirits.
So literally, that is the only place that's correct. Is that like I don't know. What do you think the reason for that is?
Well, it is to do with there are a lot of different reasons, actually. It is, if we go back a little bit over 100 years, you had a strong religious movement to ban alcohol. I mean, almost at the same time as the prohibition in the United States. We were kind of related to that as well. So the solution in the end was to establish this state-run monopoly store. And it is kind of like stuck around ever since, and some people don't like it. And at least a lot of people visiting Norway find it really surprising. But there are quite. I personally, yes, it has its drawbacks, but there are quite a few benefits as well. For instance, like there's no artificial inflating of prices or anything like that. We're a heavily taxed country. Our alcohol taxes are astronomical. But also it's the wine monopoly, the state-run monopoly. They are not allowed to make a profit over, I think it's about 6-7%. Everything else is going straight back into running the business, or straight into the national tax coffers. But it's that kind of results in a lot of wines and some pretty expensive whiskies as well. Don't get inflated because they buy it from distilleries, suppliers internationally, and they're not allowed to put a premium on it. So we can get some pretty decent wines and spirits for a fairly good price, actually. So, I mean, pros and cons.
Yeah. It's good news for you as a distillery.
Yeah.
Sorry, I was going to say I'm just really conscious of time, but there was a question that I wanted to follow up on from someone in the chat, which was Jeffster asking, could you use Norwegian pine as a first fill? But to add on to that question, I just wondered, like, obviously radically different to Scotch whiskey, like you can use, I assume, any wood, and I wanted to know if that's something you have done already, or you were looking to do it in the future, like what sort of things are available to you. But also, can you use Norwegian pine as a first fill?
Well, I'm not sure anyone has ever tried to make a cask from Norwegian pine yet. However, I mean, yes, because it is an interesting idea, and it would be interesting to see what happened. And one of the kind of like the reputations Aurora Spirit Distillery has gotten already is that we do like to experiment, and we do have a wide variety of casks. I mean, I showed both the Heimdaler and the Vanaheim earlier. Those are both finished in Amburana wood, which is a Brazilian type of wood. And I mean, we tend to get our casks from bodegas in Spain or through distilleries and cooperages in Scotland, actually. But we are not bound by the Scottish rules, the Scottish laws. So we can experiment, and we can use a lot of different woods, and we do. We like to experiment. We love whiskey, the tradition and the history of whiskey, and we want to do whiskey properly. But we're also from a pretty extreme part of the world, of Norway. So we do like to go off in a little bit of extreme directions now and again. And yeah, pine. Why not? I'm taking notes.
Yeah, so are we. Yeah, are there any other local woods that you'd be able to use? Would it mainly be pine?
Well, we have the Norwegian birch that would be interesting, but I don't think we could make it into a cask. I think maybe the pine or some Norwegian spruce would be the ones to make into casks. But well, it's interesting. I'm not quite sure, but it's what we are doing though is even though that's not related to types of wood. Actually, we're also doing aquavit, the Norwegian historical spirit, and we're doing James Vodka's aquavit, and I see Master of Malt, of course, have some of these on the site. So we are, of course, experimenting a lot with aquavit, ex-aquavit casks, and going in different directions with those. So, but we predominantly, I mean, we do, most of our casks are sherry or bourbon, but there are quite a few exciting things in storage way up north.
Okay,
Mhm.
we'll watch this space.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much. I mean, that time like flew by.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you are able to hang around until the end, we'll get back and have a chat if you have time. But no worries if you can't. But yeah, thank you so much. That was so. I feel
Yeah.
like I learned a lot about whiskey and a lot about Norway in general.
Well, hopefully. And if you ever want us to come back, just give us a call, please. This was this was delightful. Just my first ever, just to everyone watching, my first ever live stream tasting. So
Really?
pardon me if I went off script for a while.
Guys,
Well, that
you
is what you're
can't
here
go as
for.
much off script as I went off script, to be honest with you. So,
Skål.
is it tall?
Skål.
Oh,
Skål.
I know that.
Skål.
Okay. I just thought I misheard it. Skål. And how do you say goodbye? We had good after and goodbye.
Ha det bra.
That's much harder. Hold it down.
You could just say, well, ha det. That's a short version. Yeah, ha det.
Right. Yeah, thank you, Rune, for the Norwegian lesson and also the whiskey as well. Both were good, to be honest with you.
My pleasure. My pleasure. Enjoy the rest of your evening, guys.
Thank you so much.
Oh, that was great. I love that.
So interesting.
I love
I have
that.
such a spot for like Nordic whiskey. I don't know.
Yeah, we've just anything like all the Danish stuff we've had, the Finnish stuff we've had, the Scandinavian stuff, just everything that comes from there is always super interesting. That's literally, if there's anything else to say for it, it's usually really inventive and super interesting. And just come up with some mad stuff because they don't have the kind of very strict regulations that we have in Scotland and stuff like that. So they just get more chance to experiment, and I think it comes out in their whiskey. Steve Con Williams is saying tack. You come back, so very interesting. Frankly, I want Andy to talk more Norwegian words.
Who knows any?
The Malcolm Tucker saying thanks, Ingjerd. Great talk.
That was my mistake, by the way. I was late on the intel with the guest swap, so I introduced Rune as Inge, and that was my fault. So I'm very sorry about that.
Wow.
I don't know. Yeah, I arrived late.
Yeah, there was a tech issue on the back end.
Yes.
In that Jess just didn't have a link. It was a serious tech issue. Anyway, moving on. Now we're going to head back to Scotland.
Now we're going to head for an unreleased whiskey, which like isn't even on the site yet.
Okay, yeah, that is much bigger than the intro I gave it. Jess, you did the intro because I was just saying go to Scotland. That's a way.
Yeah, it's time for like some Scotch. What's new? It's the newest thing ever.
Kind of go back to Scotland. No, this is a really exciting release. So this is, guys, prepare yourself for this one.
Let's get Fiona to tell us.
Fiona.
Like, don't listen to us. We need Fiona. Hey.
Hi.
How are you doing?
Good, thank you. Well, two superb whiskies to follow there. So here we go. No pressure.
I mean, go big or go home.
I did. I had a little sip of each, and I'll enjoy the rest later once I've spoken. Otherwise, it could be one word. So one long word.
Well, I should say welcome back because you were with us for our Christmas tasting, I believe.
That was indeed. Thank you. I still have my socks, so thank you.
Oh.
I have 5 pairs of pour and sip Christmas socks.
That's just showing off now, Andy. Showing off.
Yeah. But for anyone who wasn't here, just run us a quick intro for.
Yeah. So we are Douglas Laing. We are 3rd generation family-owned blenders and independent bottlers. And then in 2009, we proudly became distillers as well with the acquisition of Strathearn Distillery. So we released the inaugural release of that 2 years ago. And very shortly, we'll be having batch 3 coming. So truly one of Scotland's smallest distilleries in Perthshire, in Methven. And I kid you not when I say that, we have 3 staff that work there, and we get 1 barrel a day. And those barrels are 50 litres. So the industry standard, of course, 200 litres. So very, very small, but very high quality and craft. So that was exciting. So now we can see we kind of do all aspects of the industry. So the business began with Fred Douglas Laing, so an avid Scotch whisky lover. He started with little more than a few casks and bought a brand that's still in our portfolio today, King of Scots, which is a blended whisky. And he very famously, to protect burgeoning sales in the whisky industry, he established some incredible filling contracts throughout the industry, which still remain today with us. We then have our wonderful Fred Senior, who's our chairman. Some of you may have had the pleasure of his company, fantastic storyteller and very knowledgeable about the industry. And then his wonderful daughter, Cara, is our managing director and whisky director. So it's fair to say that a quality nose and palate certainly runs in the family. So yeah, fantastic place to work. I myself started in hospitality, worked for some really amazing chefs. I then fell into working in wine, so became a sommelier. And then it brought me to working in One Devonshire Gardens, in Glasgow. And there I ended up taking over a whisky bar. To say there were some true treasures in there is an understatement. And I thought, oh gosh, I don't know if I know enough about these. So kind of self-taught, read a lot, visited a lot of distilleries, brought a lot of fantastic brand ambassadors and salespeople from the whisky industry in to train the staff. And then I decided I need to make a choice here and fell in love with the whole history and the stories around the whisky industry, and then began to work for Loch Lomond in Glen Scotia for 5 years, which was fantastic. And then yearned for the life of independent bottling because every day is Christmas. So here we are. So I'm the UK Business Development Manager for all of the brands at Douglas Laing.
God, not much to keep on top of then.
No, perfectly. But I mean, most enjoyable. So don't feel too sorry for me.
Do you want to talk us a bit about, like, just firstly, like the remarkable regional malts range?
Absolutely.
Who doesn't know?
Yes, of course. So a hugely important part of our portfolio at Douglas Laing is our regional remarkable malts. And they began just over 15 years ago with Big Peat. So highly special for many reasons is Big Peat. But Fred's vision was to create, very, very high quality blends, in part to show each region and their characteristics and style, but also to sort of change people's opinion about the quality of blends. Because as we know, it's no secret that everyone thinks it's just the bottle that your great granddad had in the back of the cupboard that you blew dust off on Hogmanay, and it was questionable liquid potentially. So his ethos was, it was all about the quality, and to create a quality blend, you need to blend together, some fantastic distilleries, finish in good wood. And so, as I say, it began with Big Peat representing Islay, Scallywag for Speyside, Timorous Beastie is our Highlands, Rock Island is the Islands, Epicurean is our Lowlands, and Galdrins is Campbelltown. So very specific recipes that have remained the same all these years. And of course,
the best-selling one? Just out of curiosity, this is just a curiosity comment.
My apologies, Andy. What was that?
What's your best-selling one out of the range?
Globally, I would say it is Big Peat. Big Peat certainly has a cult following. The Germans particularly love it. So if you go into the retailers there's competitions for who looks most like Big Peat. Who knew how many people globally look exactly like Big Peat? But, if you've got a big beard, you're halfway there. So yeah, between that and probably Scallywag, I would say are the top 2 sellers. It's also a great thing for us to use in a tasting because, as I say, you've got the setup and ready to go, almost guide through all the regions, which always works really well. So we're very, very proud of them. Of course, as you know, there's a huge element of the single cask side of the business, but I won't go there tonight. But yeah, Big Peat, enormously important to us, very well loved. We do talk about him as well, which is concerning, I suppose, that like he's a real person.
I was going to say that as well. It's kind of like the way, but I actually think that's kind of why it works as well, is because the fact you do talk about him like he's a person.
Yeah, we do.
It just embodies the person of just this character who's this big, bold, kind of bearded, kind of peaty, kind of whiskey. It's just a character
big
as well.
Rugged Islay fisherman with lots of character and sass, I would imagine. But yeah, I mean, just last year I did a tour to coincide with Fèis Ìle, where we had some on-trade outlets and retailers that were promoting Big Peat for the month of May, and I had a 6-foot cardboard cutout of him, and I was travelling the length and breadth of the UK, and when I tell you, I did find myself talking to that, and that was without whiskey. Also,
we did a good job today, didn't we?
Yeah, it happened. And then I vividly remember as well, I was putting them up outside the Maltlands, fantastic bar in Inverness, and it was probably like 6:30 on a Friday night, and these two guys had obviously been in the pub for a while, and as I'm standing putting this big, huge 6-foot cut out of peat up, they're sort of walking past, rubbing their eyes as though how strong were those beers, but I'm like, no, he's really here, it is a thing. So yeah, he's well loved around the world. And another thing I think we found fantastic about Big Peat is for those who, you know, are quite certain that they don't enjoy a peated whiskey. We've found that there's a nice sweetness and a nice balance about Big Peat that makes it more approachable than perhaps some of the more phenolic side of Islay, and that was the plan. So before we just go into this one being really special, and I'm very excited about this tonight, but the DNA of Big Peat, for anyone who doesn't know, is Culila. So Culila is there to give, you know, the sweetness. We've got Ardbeg that gives that slight medicinal aspect, big smoke. And we have Bowmore, which brings a nice fruitiness to it, and then Port Ellen, which brings a bit of earthiness, and it is indeed original Port Ellen that is in there.
Is that going to be harder to continue to put in there?
Yes.
Like, just for future reference.
But that is the plan. We'll continue to do so as long as we possibly can. For consistency across all of the regional malts, we do, of course, need to just tweak volumes of each one that we put in from time to time, but they will always be in there. We would fully state if anything should change. And on Big Peat bottlings, we're very lucky that we are allowed to use those distillery names on there, so it does state on the bottle that those are in there. Big Peat, as I say, is very identifiable, and a bit of a quick story about how that came around. So Fred had very much the vision of how he wanted Big Peat to look, and we had an artist. We now do everything in-house, and we affectionately know our designer as Creative Claire, but she does a fantastic job. But he had given this vision to the artist, and he said, I want him to be this rugged Islay fisherman, and he's had a terrible day out at sea, and he's come back and he's poured himself a big dram, and then his wife's phoned him to go home. So he's got to have a bit of a grimace on his face. And I think that was captured almost immediately. So it was pretty much a first take. And today his face will always be that way. So despite every market exclusive we've done, limited edition, Pete's always got that grimace, whether he's wearing lederhosen for the German market or a Santa hat for Christmas, he'll always be Big Peat.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah. So very excited to share this with you because, as you've said, this doesn't officially launch until a week tomorrow. So other than really internally within the business, you are genuinely some of the very first to try this. So your feedback,
that's exciting. We really need to take a moment here.
Truly.
That's super exciting.
Yeah. So yes, this is cask strength at 52.6. We don't, I should say, bottle anything at Douglas Laing below 46%, and everything is non-chill filtered and natural colour. Just for anyone as well who might not know about the chill filtration process, just quickly, it's a cosmetic process where the spirit is usually cooled to between -10 and 4 degrees, and that is passed then through very fine filters, and that strips out any kind of compounds, so fatty acids, esters, and that prevents the whiskey from turning hazy or cloudy. So if you dropped a bit of ice into your glass, it will go that oily way if it's cask strength or natural strength, but it won't do that if it's been chill filtered. So, sorry, non-chill filtered.
Yeah.
So this is a PX finish.
It is indeed. So this has been finished in PX for 8 months. So typically we don't tend to do enormously long finishes. The reason being is with the PX casks being obviously so powerful, the last thing we want to do is mask that beautiful Islay character. So it's very much produced to balance that and to complement it, and certainly not to take away from that fantastic Islay character.
You can also kind of see in the colour.
Yeah. So your mind, some of the PX finishes we've done are quite dark, but this one not so much, and that is due to that slightly shorter finish.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, just off the bat, it's pretty kind of, it's got that lovely syrupy thing of the PX, but it is not overpowering that kind of classic Islay kind of flavor. It's not going super into that kind of like sticky date kind of note that you often get with PX. It's really kind of well balanced. I imagine like an 8-month finish was kind of like a perfect time frame for this, rather than letting it sit for any longer.
Yeah, and I'm glad you feel that, because that was definitely the intent with this. This one this year as well has been specially crafted because this year will be the 40th anniversary of Fèis Ìle. So of course, lots of exciting things happening over in Islay with a couple of new distilleries coming. I've always said it's the place to move to. You've got 10 working distilleries at the moment and a co-op, and I don't think you need anything else to. Just for your sandwich, in between visiting distilleries.
Yeah, you've seen something else.
What are you guys doing on the island this year?
So we'll have a team over there. So we'll be doing the Independent Bottler Festival, of course. But Dougal, our global brand ambassador, will be doing a fantastic evening at Peat Fèis Ìle, which I think is one of the best names for a pizza place ever on the island. So we'll be doing a dinner there, and we've got a couple of other little tasting events. So this is going to be really exciting to be launching this here. This is sort of small batch as well. So a global allocation of 1,500 cases, which is not a lot, of course, for a limited edition. But when we talk about Big Peat, we're thinking sort of bonfire on the beach, as you say, those nice fig dried fruits elements from the PX itself, roasted coffee, some chocolatey notes, very well balanced.
I've never had such a distinct like barbecue crisp note as I have with this whiskey right now. And it's like, it's that exact thing. It's not even like it. It's crazy. But I think it's that sweetness with it's like salty, sweet, smoky. It's just all of that together. It's really, I haven't had a sip yet. I don't know what I'm playing at.
That's great that you're getting that just from the nose though. So we'll take that.
Someone's written here, Big Pete knows can't get past the smoked meats and bonfire smoke. Ali C is just on a completely separate note, asking if we can change the sock design for this year. Not that I don't like them, but would be nice to have a different one to add to the collection. Ali, I agree. It's like a gran who gives you literally the same pair of socks every year for Christmas.
You don't know how many socks we have. We have so many socks.
Then Jeff's just written, you collect socks with a question mark. They're just having a chat with themselves at this point. I don't have a choice. The amount of pour and sip socks I have by now. I'm loving sock chat. Anyway, real point. Yes, the nose, familiar and comforting Islay peatiness, evoking bonfires on the beach. Malcolm Tucker, just tasted. I love this. Just tasted Big Pete and almost knocked over my bottle of Aberargie.
Oh, don't do that. Don't do that.
Oh, sorry. I didn't know if it was like, I thought he was kind of trying to insinuate that he was so blown away by it. That and then almost knocked over his bottle.
Oh, that's what I thought. But we don't want to lose the Aberargie.
Jester, crikey, this should come with a fork and knife. I don't know what that means. Yeah.
But like, you need to like eat it.
You
So
need to eat it,
give
yeah.
knife and fork.
Meaty, maybe, yeah.
Mouthful.
Yeah.
Clive Hampson saying a big mouthful of Islay. Ali C is like eating a fig roll next to a roaring peat fire. Pete Cray, this is great. Warm, smoky coziness in a glass. Yep, I absolutely get that. Jester, not sure on the phenol here, but when you put it up against Ardbeg, it has a very yellow tint to it. Is there ppm content that we know about of this?
Yeah, this will be 45.
45.
Yeah.
Okay. And just possibly that's the blend then. Real Borg, a very dark chocolatey taste and smoke. I'm liking it very much. So it has a mix of nearly all of the island. My favorites. How could I not love it? Ali C almost always love a PX finish. Malcolm Tucker, palate, peat, smoke, more smoke, some chocolate, smoke, finish, lingering smoke. Ali C. Oh no, and Malcolm Tucker's then written, did I mention the smoke? Douglas Laing, always reliably decent stuff, says Ali C. And 2 co-ops, one in Bowmore and another in Port Ellen, says Malcolm Tucker.
True. That's right, Malcolm. I forgot about that. Even better.
10 distilleries and 2 co-ops. I mean, it's even better than 10 distilleries and 1
Fabulous.
Malcolm Tucker saying, love pizzeria in Bowmore. Jeff said, I've eaten a pizzeria, 2 floors of great pizzas and always always busy. Is this, out of all the Fèis Ìle releases you've done, is this up there for you with one of your favorites?
I would definitely say so. I do have a personal love for PX, but I don't like it to be too far, like the complete sherry bomb. So I think they've just done a fantastic job of really balancing this nicely. The PX is very detectable, but you still know that you're drinking a big peat. And I think that's a good balance to strike with this. And I think I should say as well, when Big Peat came out, Fred had a real dilemma because we're very lucky to be custodians of quite a few well-curated Islay casks over 76 years. And he couldn't quite decide at the time, did he go down the really kind of medicinal side of Islay, or did he, stick with the more smoke and sweet side of things? But 2 reasons: when he was wanting to make this a kind of generalized character of Islay, all the kind of best parts, he thought this was the place to land. But also Fred Laing has quite a sweet palate, so he likes the sweet aspect, and he thought this would be a great versatile style for lending itself to multiple types of cask finishes, which we have done over the years. So, and typically with Big Peat, you'll see, as I say, there are multiple global market exclusives, private bottlings, but from us, you'll see a Fèis Ìle release, and then you'll see another limited edition at the winter. So we typically do 2 a year.
What goes into planning a Fèis Ìle release? Because I know some distilleries like Ardbeg sort of theme it, but obviously yours are so different each year. But how do you choose what to do and when, and what makes it like a Fèis Ìle release?
Yeah, I think that's a great question. I think for us, ultimately, every decision that we make about putting a finish onto a whiskey is ultimately is the cask at its optimum to complement this style. So that's the major overriding factor. It's always got to be about what's going to be the best whiskey here. I think it goes, often when we're doing them, it's, seasonality, but we also try to think about, there's lots of food opportunities at Islay as well. So what can we do that lends itself well? It's funny, everyone's mentioned the meaty aspect of Big Peat, because we do always suggest pairing this with barbecued meats, funnily enough. So if anyone's in the market for a Big Peat fire pit, we do those. We do barbecues. So
that is amazing.
Yeah. So yeah, it's varying factors, I think. And to be honest, I think being such a small family-owned business, a lot of the time it's really what Fred and Cara like. It's truly chosen from the heart with this, and what they really like and what they want to achieve. So we don't necessarily have a theme, but if we just have a really good cask and we think this is going to work, then that's ultimately where it comes from. And of course, there's an element of experimental side, as some of you might know. With Scallywag Winter last year, we finished in Moldovan ice wine casks. So that was the first time we'd ever used that cask. And for us, two of our major investments in recent years at Douglas Laing have been our own bottling line and a massive investment into our cask policy. So really sourcing the finest that we can find, because I mean, as I say, we are custodians of some incredible distilleries, some of which are sadly lost now. So we're not going to take those incredible liquids and put them into bad casks. So it's kind of what everyone's favouring at the moment, really. And
it's just like something really special.
Yeah.
As well, kind of going back to Fèis Ìle, for anyone who hasn't been to the festival or maybe hasn't been to Islay, like, what do you think, apart from all the amazing whiskey that obviously everyone will try when they go, what do you think is something that people like take away with them when they go to Fèis Ìle? Because it's such a unique thing.
Yeah, I think one of the things that we love about it is seeing how many people travel from all over the world, the dedication from whiskey fans. I mean, I've seen tattoos, I've seen camper vans covered in their stickers. You know, I think it's really what whiskey is all about. It's good company. It's a beautiful place. It's each distillery goes out their way, you know, to put on quite a show. And I think it's an opportunity to, you know, to get close to meeting, you know, the people behind these incredible whiskies. So, you know, it's an opportunity to meet the master distiller, the people who are behind the you know, your favorite drams. So just a really special place. And yeah, I think there's people that go back religiously year on year, and have made genuine friends for life through that. So it is just an enormously special event. I don't think there's really anything else like it. People do say whiskey Disneyland, don't they? But it really is. Yeah.
As a you know, without a distillery on Islay, like how do you still show up in a way?
I think a number of things. I think we've been doing this for a long time, and we have great connections in Islay, obviously, through the distilleries, not that just form Big Peat, but out with that, some of the fantastic single casks that we have from there as well. And I suppose part of it comes down to those original filling contracts that Fred Laing Sr. Negotiated all those years ago. So I think it's largely based on relationships, and unfortunately, we get asked back each year. So hopefully, I think we have a lovely following and people excited to see our release each year. Yeah. So it's pretty special. We're delighted. Yeah. We'll be doing it until we're told we're not allowed back, and hopefully that won't happen.
Well, I have to say that was a really amazing dram. I'm very conscious of time now. We are hitting the 9 p.m. kind of region. We still have 2 drams to drink.
They will be quick drams.
They are going to be quick drams. Don't go anywhere. But thank you so much for sharing that with us.
Thank you for having us. Thank you.
Cheers. I'm just going to do this. Yeah. There should be a much more seamless way to do that on this. The top. Well, you don't know because you've never.
I don't know. I'm just a passenger princess.
Yeah. Yeah. That was amazing, I have to say. Like that kind of whole smoky meat thing. If anyone is like kind of in that camp of they kind of don't like medicinal peaty whiskey, I feel like this will be much more up their kind of street.
Because it is Big Peat, but it's not, you know, it's a different kind of big.
It's a different type of peat. It's for me, it's that more meaty kind of heathery kind of peat. I don't know, like it's not that kind of real iodine kind of TCP Lefroy peat. Not that there's anything bad with that. I love that type of peat.
Yeah.
But this peat is also a different type of peat. There are 2 different types of peat. And I like both of these peats. Jeff's saying I've never done Fèis, but I'm 70 next year, so that'll be my 5th visit. There, decision made. Right. Okay. So, Jess, we've got another 2 drams to talk about. I think we should specify at this point that if you wish to drink these with us, you can.
These are both 50+%.
But they are both 50+%, and I would personally recommend saving them. But yeah.
Yes.
You go. So.
Right. Shall I take it away?
Yeah, go for it.
Also very cool, because this just shows what a lineup it is, that these 2 are also brand new, like hot off the press in the last month or 2. So one of them is the Kilchoman Mori cask. I've not seen this wine name before, so apologies if I'm getting it wrong. But yeah, we've had Kilchoman on Pour and Sip at least once, maybe twice before, but I'm not sure when the last time was. We can consult the spreadsheet. But yeah, it's a really lovely farm distillery on the west coast of Islay. It's kind of like the oldest of Islay's new distilleries, because it was the first new distillery on Islay when it opened in 2004, the first new one for 124 years. Obviously, since then, there's been like a whole slew. So like most recently, Laing Bay and Bunnahabhain. So yeah, it was founded by Anthony Willis, who used to be an independent bottler, and then he was like, I'm just gonna take it to the source and do it myself, make the whiskey I want to bottle, basically. But it has its own floor maltings. It uses peat from Islay. It also launched back in 2011 its 100% Islay edition, which is made, as it sounds, with barley grown on Islay. So I felt like it's quite forward thinking in the sort of provenance and terroir of whiskey, which you see a lot more now. But yeah, it's still family owned. It's like doubled its production size, 20 years on. But yeah, still family owned, still very true to its mission. And this is a really cool whiskey. Yeah, released just in March this year, and it's not a wine finish. It's a full wine maturation, which is a bit more unusual in the Mori wine casks. So it was matured from 2021 to 2026. So yeah, it's a fortified wine from southern France. So think port, but obviously French. So yeah, think like really jammy fruits. You've got like a lot of sweetness in there, but also being on Islay, you've got a decent amount of peat smoke. So again, I think it's a bit like we were saying about Big Peat. It's one of those smoky drams which sort of lures you in with like the sweetness, and it tempers the smoke and has that sort of lighter citrus running through to like keep things a bit brighter.
It smells like if someone went to a tire shop and just threw strawberry jam over all the tires and then set them on fire.
We should write that down.
That's what it smells like.
Yeah, well, everyone have a
on the bottle. That should definitely go on the bottle. That's what it smells like. Exactly that. I really like that. I feel like that's one I'm going to say for later. That is a real thank you, Steve Coleman Williams. What a note. Here all evening.
4 times it was exclusively in May. Love that. Thank you.
What's that? 4 times before, sorry, 3. What was that? 4 times.
So we've had it. Am I reading this right? That we've had exclusively in May boxes in 2022, 24, 25, and 26. Woof. So this is the 4th time.
I was just laughing at the comments. Yeah, I think the last one we had was the Makir Bay, the cast strength Makir Bay, which was absolutely amazing.
I think we had the non-cast strength Makir Bay about maybe like in 2021.
Yeah.
No, 2022 even. Kind of.
And then the Christmas Makir Bay, was it a Christmas one with the?
Well, apparently we've only had it in May. You know what? We digress. These are meant to be quick drams. I'm sorry. Really that's the Kilchoman. Yeah, we'd recommend savouring that one. Maybe not after you've had 3 fairly strong whiskies.
For sure. The next one is from Bunnahabhain, and the name is in Gaelic for mouth of the river, and it sits right on the northeast coast of Islay. Kind of goes back to 1881. Now, Islay is obviously noted for its kind of big, smoky, peaty whiskey. But Bunnahabhain is kind of the island's kind of quiet exception. And the kind of core range is largely unpeated. It's kind of elegant, maritime, a bit nutty and sherried. It's a gentle Islay, let's say. And it's almost, it's famously remote. And for a long time, the only way to reach it was by sea. And this current one, the Westering Home Collection, I'm not going to pronounce the the bit before, the An Kuan Garb number
Can't be
one.
harder than Norwegian.
Yeah. I mean, literally, what is next? They're going to have a Welsh distillery soon, and I'm just going to be absolutely messed up. But the 3 years series named after the famous anthem of Islay, and it's all about the emotional pull of returning home. So last year's chapter was about setting sail, and this year's chapter is called An Kuan Garb, which is Gaelic for rough sea, and the theme is challenge, endurance, and transformation. And the idea is being that it's like a ship in the rough water, and the whiskey is shaped by the trials of the maturation. Yeah. Okay. Cool. That's kind of cool. The liquor itself is a 15-year single malt, matured right beside the sea at Bunnahabhain Bay, and then finished in white port casks from Portugal's Douro Valley. Bottled at 51.6% ABV. So I would seriously recommend, in my case as well, not drinking this tonight. Non-chill filtered and natural color, and the white port finish is the unusual twist here. Have you tried many white port finishes? I know that Glencadam did a really nice one. It's not something you see all that often, a white port finish.
No.
But it should bring this kind of bright honeyed fruitness to the kind of classic Bunnahabhain character. And it's the first of 3 An Kuan Garbs releases this year, with number 2 and 3 also landing during Fèis Ìle itself. So there is more to come, should you like this one. So yeah, that's the quick drams, and I think we should invite all our guests back.
Are they all still here?
They are all still here.
Excellent.
Just going to do it one by one. So Fiona, it has been such a long time. How are you?
I'm good, thanks. I have a slightly restless scallywag of my own at my feet here, so I've been wrestling to keep him quiet from barking because nobody wants his tasting notes tonight. But no, it's been a fantastic night. I've learned about lots of new drams, and also that my Norwegian is very poor, so I'll practice.
Talking of that, here's Rune.
Hi.
And lastly, Thomas. Thomas, it feels like forever ago we last spoke.
It wasn't
we are talking a long time ago. Now, nice to see you all back. We usually ask, Jess, you can ask this question for some. So the first thing we're going to do, and please don't get offended by this, is we ask everybody what their favourite dram from the box was. So you don't need to ask it now, Jess.
I don't need to ask it.
I've literally just asked it myself.
Not my line, but okay.
As always, guys, please let us know what your favourite dram from tonight's box is. None of our guests are going to be offended. Is that right? We haven't discussed this beforehand. Not going to be offended. Okay, cool. Whiskey is subjective, but please let us know what your favourite was. And on that note, question for you guys, I'm turning the table. And you can have a little think about this. But if you could share a dram with anybody, living, dead, real, fiction, who would it be? And which whiskey of yours? Yeah. Okay, turning the table. So have a think. And whilst you're doing that, we can read out some comments coming in of what people's favourites are, Jess.
Yeah, okay. So we've got Steve Conwell Williams voting for the Bivrost. Am I saying it right, by the way? Bivrost?
Yeah, that's...
I was saying Bivrost,
yeah.
and not right. Steve Conwell Williams says Bivrost, stunning dram. Jeffster, tough call, but the...
Yggdrasil.
He's going to order that. They're going to order that. Real Boinga, number 1, Yggdrasil, and Big Peat a very close second.
Just hold on a second. It needs to be more like Yggdrasil, right? Is that right, Runa?
Yeah. Yggdrasil.
I don't think she's really picking up on the tongue.
Sorry, Andy, are you teaching me now?
Yeah. It's just,
I mean, it is a complicated language, and there are a lot of consonants, and then we stick some vowels in there for good measure. But
there's definitely not enough vowels in Yggdrasil. It's certain.
I think Y could be an honorary.
Okay.
Okay, back to the votes. We've got Malcolm Tucker going Aberargie as number 1.
Yeah.
Pete Cray, Big Pete top for me, but all were brilliant. Nick Tarrant, Aberargie for me with Big Pete a close second. Ali C tonight, number 1, Bivrost, then Aberargie, then the Kilchoman, then the Bunna, then the Big Pete. But the Big Pete will be a daily drink because it's very easy to keep coming back to.
Yeah.
Very like neutral comment like that.
I like them all basically,
Yeah.
and then I take the Big Peat every day. That was
Yeah. The fifth in the list was the everyday one. Clive Hampton, 3 absolute belters tonight. I'll go for the Bivrost as it's got its own style. David Wilcock, Big Peat has a very personal preference, but Bivrost was the most interesting. My first Norwegian whiskey, a lovely dram. Callisto loved the Aberargie. Steve Colin Williams has a database where everyone can vote for their favourite drams, and apparently Big Peat is winning on the database, but the Big Peat fans are being a bit quiet on the chat, I'd say.
Yeah.
Pexman, Bivrost, and then a whole lot of letters.
I love that comment, and Jeff's just saying it's like countdown for dyslexics. I love that.
I would say split room.
I'd say split room.
point.
It usually is, and it kind of sums up what whiskey's all about. Split room, subjected. Everyone's got their favourites. Jess, what was your favourite? I'm joking.
That's illegal. You can't ask me that.
You can't ask that question. I like them all. But Fiona, who is it you would share a dram with?
Oh my gosh! Oh, that is such a tough one. Something I've never thought about.
Exactly. That's why you're getting asked it now.
I know. I would probably say I would drink Big Peat with Billy Connolly.
That's not the first time we've heard that before.
Yes. Oh, okay.
Someone's Scottish. Yeah, no, it's a good one. I think so as well. He'd be a laugh, right?
Yeah, exactly.
At the very least, he would be a laugh. Rune, what about yourself?
Well, I was thinking I'd probably go for Billy Connolly as well if I'd had thought of him. I mean, I love the man.
Yeah.
But I was kind of thinking, okay, being Norwegian, we're raised with Norwegian heroes like Fridtjof Nansen and Roald Amundsen, who famously won the race to the South Pole against Robert Falcon Scott. So I was kind of thinking, I'd really like to have a dram with Robert Falcon Scott and kind of because we always get the Amundsen side. I'd be really interested to having a dram with him. And what type of dram? Well, one of my all-time favorites, I think, the Glendronach 18 Allardyce from 2018, 2019. That's about as close to a perfect dram as you're gonna get for me.
It still is as well. It's a great dram. That I completely agree on that.
That's an excellent answer.
Great answer, Rune. As you smashed that one. I thought you were going to say Erling Haaland or Martin Odegaard or something.
Okay, I'm going to offend a lot of people now, but I'm really not into football.
That's okay. That's that's totally okay. You're not offended.
It's all skiing and biathlon. It's kind of like yeah.
I'm not going to get offended. Thomas, what about you?
It's a great question, and I've never thought about it either, to be honest. I am into football, and I immediately went to Maradona because I think he'd be a pretty fun guy to share a dram with.
I think he would definitely be a fun guy to share a dram with.
Yeah.
However, it'd probably turn into quite a few drams.
Yeah. He'd drink his guy.
I think the whiskey might be secondary at that point. Similarly, when you said Billy Connolly, I thought of Irvine Welsh as well. I've been in Edinburgh, called it home for the last 12 or 13 years, and I think some stories over a dram would be pretty special with him as well. Of course, Aberargie, but I think whiskey's about stories as well. So sometimes the stories take over the whiskey.
Absolutely. Jess, what about yourself? You didn't think I'd ask you.
No. I think I would want one with Zach Galifianakis.
Is that the hangover?
Yeah, but he's really, really interesting. He's like he's got a gardening show out. I highly recommend it. It's very silly, and he's just seems like great fun, but also really into nature. So maybe I'd go for the Bivrost actually. If he's
into nature, that's a great.
Like in the heather, me and Zach. Yeah, I'm flipping it now. Andy, what about you?
Well, talking of heather, I'm going to surprise everybody, but there's a song that Gene Kelly sings in Brigadoon about heather, about dancing away in the heather with this girl he meets. And that would be a great dram to have at that moment in time. The Yggdrasil. I bet you weren't expecting me to say that.
We've both become brand ambassadors now for Yggdrasil.
Yeah, no, but I imagine that he sings a song all about dancing in the heather. I can't remember the song. It's a beautiful, beautiful song from the musical Brigadoon. Highly recommended. And that would be a great dram to share that with. However, other than that, it would be who could I get really drunk with that would be great value? No, I'm joking.
I believe you've not thought about this before
No,
you asked the question.
yeah, no, because I don't usually ask you, Jess, and I usually end it right there. But because I asked you, I realised that was going to come back to me. I feel like I would love to meet one of my heroes, like Larry David. So I would love to share a dram with Larry David. Would he want to share a dram with me? Probably.
That's not part of the question.
Yeah, that's not part of the
We can't even comprehend that part of the question.
Yeah, Steve Conn Williams is like, Andy, you're being asked next. I should have thought about that. You're totally right. That's true. Anyway, and Steve Conn Williams, no offense here, can't stand football. That's each to their own. But thank you very much, guys. It's been an absolute pleasure this week. An unbelievable box and some great guests and some great drams and
a very lovely time. It's flown by, which is a testament.
Yes.
That is exactly it. It's absolutely flown by. So thank you all, and we will see you in
June. Great.
Cheers, everybody.
Thank you.
Cheers, everyone.
Cheers, everyone.
Cheers.
Thank you.